All right, y'all. We back with another video, man. Y'all already know what's going on. All right. Today is September 30th. We have entered the last day of 30 or 30. Although I think this is my 34th video of the month, but I did say I was dropping every single day 30 for 30. So y'all know you gotta run the like up for this one. I mean, we here. I pulled through. I think even the month of August, I dropped 29 videos. So basically, I've dropped every single day for the last 2 months. Am I going to stop? No, there's no reason to. I still feel good, you know, 30 for 30. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So look, interesting video we got here, right? We're basically about to do the same thing we did yesterday. Go through a couple clips. I want to start it with this one right here and the massive difference of, you know, Erica Kirk from the speech that was completely fake to her recently hosting an episode, the Charlie Kirk show. Drastic change. Then we're going to go into something pretty interesting with Benjamin Netanyahu, y'all know, Israel Prime Minister, and get into a little bit about what's been going on recently ever since they took out Charlie Kirk. The month of September has been very eventful, to say the least. It's probably an understatement. Check this out, y'all.
So how have we gone from this?
That young man. I forgive him.
Which was the 21st of September, and now 7 days later, we get this.
Nothing is changing, but I want to preface, we're not awkward. We're not like weird. We're not cringe. We're not going to be tweeting as if it's him. That's tone deaf and really disturbing. And anyone who does that's like morbidly.
Hey, we're going to be doing about 5 more episodes a week now. So just tell the team and make sure that happens.
3 hours of this, 2 more hours of podcasting.
There is just something that just doesn't feel right. It feels wrong. It feels off. And I am trying so hard not to over speculate, but it's hard when stuff like this has been put out to us. It's just not normal. It doesn't feel natural. I feel like we're watching a performance. It's almost like we're watching a movie unfold right in front of our eyes. And it's things like this that make me think that Charlie Kirk's assassination is so much bigger than we could ever imagine.
Now, she's right. It's definitely much bigger than we could have ever imagined when it happened. Because a lot of stuff is like, picking up as the month comes to an end. Even things with TikTok's new ownership, the 800 generals meeting today in Quantico, the 250 U.S. lawmakers, legislators going to Israel in like something that's never been seen, as far as people thinking like, we're basically going over there pledging allegiance to Israel. 250 of our own lawmakers. I mean, all kind of stuff has been going on, like, whether it's all across the media or it's just little things, especially with TikTok. I mean, I'm finna show y'all a clip here in a second where Benjamin Netanyahu said the most important deal right now is the deal for TikTok with, the US. And basically, Larry Ellison, who we've talked about before on the channel, and Oracle and stuff, overseeing the operations, the security, the algorithm, all kind of stuff. So we could probably expect the algorithm to change a lot for American users of TikTok, which ultimately will, change up the flow of information that we receive. Because I'm not gonna lie, without this app, a lot of stuff wouldn't make it, to certain screens. I mean, I see why they want control of this algorithm. And the deal is not yet completely done, which we can get into it a little bit more soon. I don't think China has completely agreed to everything, but I can pull up the article, but ByteDance is still going to control about 35 to 40% of the operation here in America, and Oracle and so on, and these other corporations are going to control the rest, the 55%. But check this out right here. This next clip is really interesting. Glad I found this.
So the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, said that if you have a phone, specifically an iPhone, that you are with Israel. Assumptually saying that you are for Israel. But it all makes sense to me. You want to know why? What is the logo of Apple? It's a bite out of an apple. He says that if you have an Apple iPhone, not just an Android, not any other phone, but specifically an Apple iPhone, that you are with Israel. Then I think and I remember Adam and Eve ate from the forbidden tree. Obviously, the fruit that's depicted there is an apple. We know Israel. There's a verse. It's in Revelation 2:9, and it says, I know your works and tribulation and poverty, but you are rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are of the synagogue of Satan. I know of them that say they are Jews that are not, and they are the synagogue of Satan. I wonder why Israel would be behind Apple and say if you have an Apple iPhone, you are with Israel. They call themselves Jews, but the Bible says all kind of adds up to me. But also, he went on to say something along the lines of, we make good devices. We make great devices. Speaking of war, he started listing the things that they had made while referring to the iPhone. And do y'all remember in that supermarket? I can't remember exactly where it was, but it was earlier this year where phones started exploding. This is very interesting to me.
Now that I found to be very interesting. I mean, I think a lot of people already made that connection as far as, the Apple iPhone product or Apple products, relating it back to Adam and Eve. So that part is nothing new. But somebody said I have Israel fatigue. Now, I get that. People like Samsung users right now, I'm switching to Samsung. So I in iPhone means Israel phone. Check this out, though. I found the actual clip where he says it, and most people take this as he just admitted that he controls the USA in our face. He is indirectly telling Americans that you are nothing without Israel. They steal everything and claim that it's theirs. Somebody said, I never wanted to throw my phone straight to the ground more after hearing this. Check this out, y'all. It's pretty blatant. With an American flag right next to him. I guess he's at some kind of conference right here. But check this out.
Did you have cell phones? You have cell phones here? No? You're holding a piece of Israel right there. You know that? I mean, a lot of the cell phones, the medicines, the food, you eat cherry tomatoes. You know where that was made? And they said, oh, Israel is isolated. Israel can't break out of the siege. And I said, we will. Some of them have stopped weapon component shipments. Can we get out of this? Yes, we can. We're pretty good at producing weapons. Like intelligence, we share both with the United States. A good chunk of your intel. So those in Western Europe who think they can deny us things will not succeed. We can break this siege, and we will.
Very interesting. I mean, I get, what he's trying to say. A lot of people take it as it being, indirect, that without us, there is no you, in a sense. I mean, I get it. Somebody said Israel didn't create it, but they are sure as hell corrupted each aspect of it. Don't let a criminal speak. His voice doesn't need to be heard. Somebody said he just exposed himself. He's referring to the Israeli spyware Pegasus. That's interesting. Very interesting stuff right here, y'all.
Controlling our government.
Israel controls us.
Israel is in control of our government.
The government of Israel controls the United States.
Israel has run American foreign policy for 30 years.
It feels like we're just owned by Israel, and we just never knew it.
Israel first.
Israel first.
Israel first.
This really is an Israel first administration.
Israel.
Israel.
APEC, I'm coming to tear your kingdom down.
I just thought that was a little interesting compilation. Somebody said Kanye West said this first, and we called him crazy. He definitely, y'all know Kanye is probably the most outspoken artist about politics that we have. I remember there was a video where Kanye was reading out the CEOs of all major networks, you know, MSN, BC, YouTube, Google, Facebook. We all know Zuckerberg, flu, you know, he's fluish. I think Larry Ellison, Oracle, he's fluish as well. And a lot of people think him and Benjamin Netanyahu are like direct buddies with this whole TikTok thing. We're going to get into that in a second. But Kanye was naming like every major corporation. And then he showed a list of how many of their CEOs or like, you know, major partners or whatever were all fluish. It was crazy. It was crazy. I think that's why people right here are saying everyone here owes Kanye West an apology. Now, mind you, everything that I am showing you, besides this clip that's, you know, like compilation, all of this stuff is after Charlie Kirk's death. I think this conference as well, where Benjamin Netanyahu was just talking about this, at the max, this was 2 weeks ago. So I think this was after Charlie's death as well. It's just something to note.
If you don't know what's happening right now, I'm going to break it down to you like you're 5. So America is the parent company of Israel. It's been the parent company of Israel for decades. America funds Israel using U.S. taxpayer dollars. It provides its weapon and security, etc. And this has been going on for decades. And right now, the parent company, the U.S., has reached old age. It has accumulated all this debt. It's time for it to retire. It's also reached its stage of dementia. And so right now, you have 250 U.S. legislators that have gone on a trip to Israel, which is completely paid by Israel, but really the U.S. taxpayer. And they've gone there to basically pledge allegiance to the country, which is really pledging allegiance to their new boss. I just want to make something really clear here right now. This is the largest U.S. bipartisan delegation to ever visit a foreign country. Do you understand? These are U.S. lawmakers. They're U.S. lawmakers. They make laws in the United States of America, and they just went to another foreign country to pledge allegiance. So take a minute and process that how you wish. At the same time, TikTok and the U.S. have finalized a deal, basically saying that the U.S. is going to have a separate TikTok app from the global TikTok app, which will be controlled by Zionist algorithms. It will be controlled by 3 companies in the U.S., Oracle, Silver Lake, and Harrods, which are all 3 Zionist entities. Do you understand what's happening right now? Our information is being hijacked by a foreign entity. I cannot stress this enough. At the same time, they're saying that it will be an American board with U.S. government oversight, but obviously it will also be Israeli oversight and an Israeli board. The app will look exactly like the TikTok app, except it's going to be controlled by U.S. and Israeli algorithms. So they will be pushing Zionist propaganda all day, every day.
See, now that is where the connection comes in with Larry Ellison and Benjamin Netanyahu. I mean, if you think about it, they don't do this over any other app. Obviously, this was China owned, ByteDance owned. So the algorithm, you know, they basically told them, if you still want to operate in the US, which is basically the biggest country that hosts your app, you make most of your money from here. You know, TikTok has made hundreds, thousands famous all around the world. You know, like I told y'all, ByteDance is still going to own 35 to 40% of the TikTok that is here in the States. It's not completely owned by the US. They haven't finalized the deal completely yet. I read this from an article. So they don't do, obviously, America has full control over Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, all that. None of that stuff is important. Benjamin Netanyahu literally said TikTok is the most important deal right now. They have to control this flow of information that has been like untapped for a long time. Now it's obviously different because it's already started. TikTok has already started deleting videos. They're almost becoming YouTube. Now, when you watch creators on TikTok, they are coding their words and not saying certain stuff just like we do on YouTube. So they're definitely controlling the flow of information. I mean, what do you think? It would eventually got here. They have to. They know they have to, and that's why we're finna get a completely separate version, of TikTok than the global version. I mean, it makes sense. If you don't control the flow of information, then you really have no control. If you don't control the algorithms of what people see and what is pushed, you really can't control the narrative. That's what this is all about, because different agendas are taking place, and what is going to happen in the future, there needs to be control of the flow of information. And TikTok has been untapped for a long time. Like I said, a lot of this stuff wouldn't come across your screen if it wasn't for TikTok. And, we get to see certain things we would never see without TikTok. People are exploding information through TikTok. It has been quite amazing. Honestly, if you really think about the TikTok, purpose or what TikTok has served to the flow of information and how much stuff actually gets out, it's you could go for days, for weeks, just finding out new stuff you've never seen, and corners of the internet on TikTok that you never thought you would be. This stuff is insane, y'all.
Just who will be in control of this extremely high-powered social platform? Larry Ellison. Who is Larry Ellison?
There were tragedies, and the civilians were hurt. That's a terrible thing. But one thing we know for certain, that the Israeli army did everything they could to minimize civilian casualties. And in that regard, they've done a much better job than a lot of other armies all over the world throughout history.
Well, like Mark Zuckerberg, he is Jewish. And not only is Larry Ellison Jewish, but he is also, would you be surprised if I told you, he is also the single biggest private benefactor of the Israeli Defense Forces in history? Crazy coincidence, isn't it? He has given the biggest private contributions to the Israeli Defense Forces, totaling tens of millions of dollars on a yearly basis. And not only that, he is a close personal friend of Benjamin Netanyahu.
We have a generational issue with TikTok.
So we really have a TikTok problem, a Gen Z problem.
I made Aliyah and enlisted in the Israel Defense Forces.
Oracle, founded by Ellison, in cooperation with the government, monitors this algorithm.
We've actually acquired a number of Israeli companies. We have two CEOs at Oracle. One's name is Safra Katz, and she was born in Israel.
We're going to have to use the tools of battle. And the most important ones are the social media. And the most important purchase that is going on right now is TikTok. TikTok, number one.
There you go, y'all. TikTok, number one deal, number one purchase from Netanyahu himself, which I feel like Benjamin Netanyahu wasn't his real name. I feel like he probably changed his name. I wonder what the rest of his family name is. I'm not sure. I don't know. Y'all know how these folks do. He probably made his name a little closer so people would, let me chill. I'm not even gonna say you can't talk too much about this stuff. We already censored. We already censored, y'all. But there it goes, man. From the man himself. TikTok. That's what it's all about. Ever since Charlie Kirk has died, has a lot bigger implications than we know. All right, y'all. 30 for 30, man. I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and log out, man. That being said, it's Black Balloon. I'm gonna see y'all soon, all right? I'm out.